Welcome everyone to Vested Interest. This is Shane back for a Stock Pick of the Day video. It is January 22nd, Wednesday. We're going to take a look at one out of the utility sector, American Water. Now, before we get too far in the video, if you could do me a big favor, hit that thumbs up button down below if you find any value in the content. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Join us on this journey to financial freedom. Join the Vested Interest community. Click that subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell so you're notified whenever I put out any new content. I do this Stock Pick of the Day video series Monday through Thursday whenever the market's open. We take a look at a company stock that's pulled back on the day, see if it is presenting any value. We run it through my screener that has some criteria we'll run through in this video. We'll see if it meets the criteria to make it onto my watch list, and then and only then do I do more of a deep dive into the financials. This is just a way for me to look through the thousands of companies out there and see which ones I am interested, a quick way to review them and see if I'm interested in doing more of a deep dive into the financials. Just because it makes it on my watch list does not mean I'm investing in the company. It means I'm interested in doing more of a deep dive. There's the thanks button down below for those of you who are able. Really appreciate everyone who can do that. It does help out the channel. But so does hitting the thumbs up button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. That's all free. Dropping a comment down below is free as well. So appreciate everyone out there. If you can take the time to do that, doesn't cost you a thing. It really helps out the channel. And a special thank you to the subscribers and viewers of the channel. The channel continues to grow because of people like you. Now, this is the Vested Interest Stock Screener. This is the criteria we will be looking at in the video today and in all of our Stock Pick of the Day video series. We are not going to take a look at price to book. This is a utility company. I only add that in when we're looking at financial companies like banks, insurance companies, something out of the financial sector. Then we add in price to book. So it's got to meet 5 of 8 to make it onto my watch list. We'll see how this one shakes out. Let's get into the video. Back to American Water. Check them out on their homepage, www.amwater.com. That's www.amwater.com. That is their homepage where I pulled this from. And again, they are a utility company focused around providing water, right? Drinking water, the water you bathe in. And as you can see here, a couple maps and a couple of snippets that I've done. The one on the left, this is all the military locations, right? All the states that they run military locations. The one on the right looks very similar, but has a few different states that they, or even matches up a little bit, but has a couple less states than their military services. This is for individual people, right? So if you have a home that might be tied into their waterworks system, you might be in one of these states. American Water's Contract Service Group offers regulated like operation and maintenance (O&M) services in the United States. These services include the delivery of design, build, operate projects and provisions of water and wastewater operations, maintenance, and management services, right? So they're building, owning, operating, maintaining wastewater treatment plants where, like I said, if you live in a city, you might be getting your water from. The Contract Services Group has been providing these services to clients for more than 30 years. Many of these services are delivered to municipal and regional governmental entities through public-private partnerships, but we also provide similar expertise and services to industrial clients with a wide range of water quality and regulatory compliance needs, right? So it might be an individual, it might be a company. And as far as the military, they have long contracts with the military. We're talking about 30, 50-year contracts. So this company is not going away as long as the United States has a military. At least that portion of the business will be going. And I don't think we're going to get out of the need of water anytime soon. So companies like this are here to stay. They are regulated a bit, but that also kind of gives you an idea of what your profits will be over time, because they can only raise their prices so much, and it kind of locks in those ranges. Now, the reason we're taking a look at them, down 3.68% on the day. We are talking about American Waterworks Company, ticker AWK. This is out of the utility sector. Closed out the day at $121.68. 52-week range as low as $113.34, as high as $150.68. They are pushing up against their 15-week low here. They might be within it. I'd have to check on that. Hold on one second. I'll do the math, and we'll look at that here in a second. It does have a market cap of $23.715 billion. Has a beta of 0.7, so it is less volatile than the overall market. It has a price earnings ratio of $24.14 per share. That actually seems a little high for a utility company, but it's not the end all be all, right? There might be a reason for this. And EPS is sitting at $5.04 per share. Now let's look back at their, so 1113 3.34 times 1.15 equals, yep, they are within 15% of their 52-week low, $130.34 or lower. So they're currently under their 15% of their 52-week low. So this is whenever I like to take a look at stocks to add to the portfolio. This one is in my portfolio, so it might be one, if it's below my cost basis, we're interested in adding to. Even if it's over my cost basis, it's still within 15% of a 52-week low. Forward dividend, or I'm sorry, earnings date, February 19th. I like that they give you an actual date, so tune back into their homepage if you're interested in earnings reports. Forward dividend is $3.06 on the year. They are quarterly payers, so divide by 4, though we will see that here in a little bit. Starting dividend yield at 2.42% if you were to buy them now. Ex-dividend date, February 7th. So if you were to buy them now, you've got lots of time before the ex-dividend date. You can build out a little bit of a position or add to your existing position. February 7th is next month, so we still got a little bit of time. You want to buy them February 6th or before to get the next dividend. Looks like they're going to pay out on March 4th. 1-year target estimate of $140.33, at least according to Yahoo Finance. So they see some upside as far as price appreciation on this one from where it currently sits. Jumping over to the right, I like to look at dividend yield theory to see if it is presenting any undervaluation. To do that, we look at their 5-year dividend yield average, 1.74%. Compare it to their current 2.42%, or over here where it says forward annual dividend 2.42%, same number. Since it is higher, that speaks to potential undervaluation, at least according to dividend yield theory. Payout ratio says it's 58.43%. I like under 75%, so I like that this one is very low, especially for a utility company. Usually these are very high, 80, 90% range. This one happens to be low. Oh, sorry about that. Jumping down, I like growing free cash flow over time, because typically if a company has growing free cash flow, they have growing dividends to match, they can pay down debt, make acquisitions, reinvest back into the company, and that is one thing that is important for utility companies. They have a lot of capital expenditures, right? They're going to be, for this company, maintaining their water lines. If they own their wastewater treatment plants, they'll be maintaining those. So there is a lot of maintenance that goes along with that. So they need to have some free cash flow to be able to dump back into the company to make sure those pipes are clean, not broken, pumping that water so that they can get paid. And same thing with those wastewater treatment plants, right? They're cleaning up that water and being able to pump it out. You're going to see a lot of negative numbers here in free cash flow. That's typical for utility companies. If you compare this to other utility companies, that's really the best way to judge some of these utility companies, energy companies, companies like that might have some, same thing with the communication sector, that might have a lot of maintenance, like Verizon, AT&T, where they're maintaining those lines that they transmit out, right? Or satellites now, or some of the other ways they transmit their services. So going back to December 2021 here, you can see negative $43 million in free cash flow. 2022, big down year. They must have had a bunch of capital expenditures here. Negative $1.3 billion. 2023, negative $860 million. Trailing 12 months, negative $983 million. Now, they are not buying back shares. At least they haven't been recently, but they are paying down debt. I will say this doesn't necessarily mean anything. You want to look at this as compared to the issuance of debt, but I did want to note that they are paying down their debt. You see, I won't go through that, but you can pause it and go through that if you're interested. Jumping over to stockanalysis.com, this is another source I go to. I do recommend more than one source so you can make sure the information you are getting is accurate and up to date. Don't just blindly trust one source is giving you accurate information. Sometimes these sources are wrong. It happens. That's why I use 2, if not 3 sources to verify everything I'm looking at. I recommend you do the same. They have, and you pick any sources that you like. You don't have to use the ones I use. 8 analysts here have taken a look at this. They call it a consensus hold. If you were to go to their webpage, you'd be able to click on this. So this would be a strong buy, strong sell, hold, buy, strong buy. I did look at this. There were a few that called it a sell. No one called it a strong sell. A couple that called it a hold. One called it a buy. One called it a strong buy. Most were in the hold category here, right? So that's where it sits. Now, they do have a low estimate of $124. It currently sits lower than their lowest estimate. Coming back up to their low estimate would represent a 1.91% increase from where it currently sits. Average estimate of $140.75. That would represent a 15.67% increase, and that's pretty close to what we saw with Yahoo Finance on the previous page. High estimate of $164 would represent a 34.78% increase and a new 52-week high. Jumping in statistics, I like to look at return on equity and return on invested capital to see how well the company is reinvesting back into itself. And I like 10% or better for these metrics. I'm going to use the same metrics for all the companies, even though utility companies, again, you'd want to compare this to other companies. Very, very little of them, or not a lot of them, have very good return on invested capital or return on equity numbers. Something like this, I usually look at margins and stuff like that over this, but this is part of the screener, so we're going to run through it. Return on invested capital sitting at 4.48%, well below the 10% I look for there. Return on equity 9.7%, just under, but would not get a check because neither one of them meet the 10% or better. EPS growth is forecasted at 5% or better, or I like 5% or better. It's forecasted at 7.46%, so it beats the metric there. And revenue growth is actually at 7.27% forecasted over the next 5 years. That's very good for a utility company, actually. Now, let's wrap this one up. I do hold American Water Works in my portfolio. I currently have 105.71501 shares. I am up slightly, 1.54%. Even with the recent pullback, I have $12,720.03 into the position, up $145.49. So again, if this one was to continue to pull back, I'd love to add a little bit more here, even though it's one of the larger positions in my portfolio. I wouldn't mind adding to this one a little bit. If it pulls back below my cost basis, I may even nibble a little bit while it's really close. You never know what's going to happen with stocks, but this is one that would be on my add list if it dropped below my cost basis for sure. Quarterly payer, now they're saying the payout ratio is at 60.78%, so that's a little bit of a discrepancy between what we saw at Yahoo Finance. So you might want to go to a third source to see if you can find out which one is accurate. But either way, either one of the sources I look at are under the 75% I look for. And again, really good for a utility company. Usually they're in the 80-90% range because they're returning a lot of capital to investors because they're slow growers. Typically, this one, though, is growing at high single digits, 8.05% dividend growth. Very good for a utility company. 11 years of growth. Buyback yield is negative. I don't like that. So when they do buy back shares, they're not doing it at very opportune times. Shareholder yield is negative at 0.056. I don't like that either. They do pay out on the March, June, September, December timeframe like most companies do. Going back in time here, August 2022, you can see here they're paying 65 cents and some fractions of a share. Raised it up May 2023 to 70 cents and some fractions of a share, or fractions of a penny, I mean. Raised it up again in May 2023 to 76 cents and some fractions of a penny. I would anticipate the next raise being in that May timeframe again, payout in June. So look for that if you're an owner of the company. Like I said, I'm holding this one. I am long. I wouldn't mind adding to this if it drops below my cost basis. All right, let's jump back over to the screener and wrap this one up. Understand the business. It's a utility company. They're providing water services. Growing free cash flow. Nope, up and down. So we got to check for the first one, not the second. Growing dividend. Yes, growing dividend. High single digits, a little over 8%. Dividend payout ratio is under 75%. Bit of a discrepancy there between the two sources, but still under 75% for both. So check there. Dividend yield theory says it's potentially undervalued. Check there. It is within 15% of a 52-week low. Anything under about 130, 131, right in that range is within 15%. So check there. Return on invested capital, return on equity, both of them are under the 10% I like, so no check there. But the earnings per share growth is projected over 5% at 7% there, so check there. It's got 6 of 8. It is on my watch list. Obviously, it's in my portfolio. This is one I'm interested in adding. Let me know what you think of American Water Works in the comment section down below. Is it one you're holding? Is it one you're watching for more of a pullback? Or maybe you're part of the reason it's down and it's one you're selling right now. Well, that's really it for this one. As always, appreciate you stopping by. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to show me some love. Hit that thumbs up. Ring the notification bell. Most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Join us on this journey to financial freedom. Join the vested interest community. I do personally read and respond to the comments. I am always interested to read your questions, opinions, or suggestions for new topics or new companies to cover in the Stock Pick of the Day series. So if you have a company you'd like me to cover, go ahead and drop it down in the comment section below, and I'll work it in the rotation. And again, let me know what you think of Waterworks in the comment section. Love to hear from you down there. And this is Shane signing off, wishing peace and prosperity to you and yours. And remember, financial security comes to those who take a vested interest. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a great week, and we will see you in the next one. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in this presentation should be considered financial advice. I am only sharing my opinion and investing journey for educational and entertainment purposes. Investing involves risk. You can lose money. You should never invest any amount you're not comfortable losing it. Always do your own research. Invest based on your situation, circumstances, and select criteria, or seek the advice of a certified financial advisor.